In Atchison, Kansas, there's this little white house on North 2nd Street, and if you drove by, you probably wouldn't even notice it. It looks completely normal. But inside those walls, it's known as one of the most violent, most active paranormal spots in the entire country. This is the story of the Sallie House, and it starts with things that, well, they sound like they're ripped straight out of a horror movie.
Now that's not just something from a scary movie script. These are the actual things that people have reported over and over again from inside this house. We're talking about stuff that's not just seeing a ghost, it's intensely physical and deeply terrifying. It really sets the stage for one heck of a story.
So yeah, welcome to the Sallie House. The name itself sounds kind of innocent, right? It comes from this legend of a little girl's spirit, but as we're about to find out, the real story is, well, it's way more complicated and maybe a whole lot more sinister than just a simple ghost.
The story that really blew the lid off this place and made it infamous kicks off in 1992 with a young couple named Tony and Deborah Pickman. They were just starting their family, excited for the future, and had absolutely no idea what kind of nightmare they were about to walk into.
I mean, this should have been the happiest time of their lives, but it just completely spiraled. They only lasted in that house for 22 months. That's it. In less than 2 years, they went from being hopeful homeowners to basically refugees, running for their lives.
And it didn't just start with a bang. At first, it was the kind of stuff you might write off in an old house. Lights flickering, weird noises. But after their son was born, things went from 0 to 100 fast. We're talking toys moving on their own into perfect circles, pictures turning themselves upside down. Then, it got dangerous. A toy just burst into flames, out of nowhere. This wasn't just a creaky old house anymore. Whatever was there felt intelligent, and it was getting angry.
Well, a story this intense doesn't stay secret for long. It got so wild that TV producers started calling. The show Sightings actually came to investigate, more than once, and they managed to capture some of these crazy events on camera. Suddenly, the Pickmans' private hell became a national phenomenon.
And this is where things get really, really disturbing. We're talking about the physical attacks. For whatever reason, Tony Pickman became the main target. He would get these deep, bloody scratches just appearing on his skin out of thin air, sometimes right in front of the TV cameras and investigators.
But here's the detail that makes this so much weirder. These weren't just random scratches. One time, they spelled out initials, MC. That's a message. It was eventually traced back to Michael C. Finney, the guy who built the house and actually died there way back in 1872. All of a sudden, this terrifying haunting had a historical connection.
Okay, so you've got a man's initials being carved into another man's skin, but at the same time, the psychics who were brought in, they were picking up on something completely different. They felt the presence of a little girl.
And that's where Sallie enters the picture. The story they told was of this young ghost girl trapped in the house. Deborah Pickman even tried to embrace it, tried to comfort this spirit, thinking maybe it would calm things down. But the violence, especially towards Tony, just kept getting worse.
So if there's a ghost girl named Sallie, where did she come from? Well, there are two main stories floating around. One is kind of sad and quiet, a little girl who died of pneumonia. But the other one, it's way more violent. It claims a doctor lived in the house, and a girl died on his operating table during a botched surgery, in horrible pain. And that story, well, that's often used to explain why the spirit might hate adult men, like the doctor, and like Tony.
But here is the massive catch. The big problem with both of those stories. After all this time, after countless researchers have looked into it, there is zilch, no historical record of a girl named Sallie ever dying in that house. It's a powerful story that just doesn't seem to be based on any actual facts. It's all built on psychic readings and anecdotes.
So, this huge gap between the story everyone tells and the actual, historical facts, it forces you to dig a little deeper, to look at the other evidence and the other strange things that have been found in that house over the years, because something is definitely going on. So let's really put this under the microscope. For every single claim about this house, there's a counter-argument. Believers point to Tony's scratches, which were literally filmed appearing on his skin, but skeptics say, hey, maybe it's a rare skin condition brought on by stress. Believers say psychics felt a child ghost. Skeptics say, okay, but show me the death certificate. All the violent activity? Believers see proof of a haunting. Skeptics see a family under incredible psychological stress in a creepy old house.
And the story of this house just gets darker.
Long after the Pickmans were gone, another tenant was kicked out. And what did they find left behind in the basement? A pentagram. Suddenly, there's this whole other layer of possibility that maybe someone was trying to summon something, to invite something into that house.
And if that wasn't creepy enough, then there's this discovery. I mean, this might be the most genuinely chilling piece of physical evidence found in that house. Tucked away in the attic insulation, investigators found an old sweater. It had puncture holes in it, like stab wounds, and tests confirmed the stains on it were blood. Which raises a brand new, terrifying question. Is this haunting connected to a real unsolved crime? So with all this conflicting evidence, the scratches, the ghost stories with no proof, the pentagram, the blood, it all boils down to three main theories trying to explain what on earth is going on at the Sallie House.
Okay, theory number 1. This one sticks to the original legend. It really is Sallie. She's the spirit of a traumatized little girl. Maybe she doesn't even know she's dead, and she's lashing out because she's scared, especially of men who remind her of the doctor who hurt her. From this perspective, the violence isn't evil, it's just fear. Theory 2, though, this one goes to a much, much darker place. It says Sallie is a complete lie, just a mask. That what's really in the house is something demonic, something inhuman, that pretends to be an innocent little girl to get people to let their guard down. Then it shows its true, violent nature. That would certainly explain the scratches and the fires. And then you have theory number 3, the skeptical take. This one says there's nothing supernatural going on at all, that what happened was a perfect storm. The stress of having a new baby, not getting any sleep, being in an old creaky house, and the power of suggestion just created this shared experience, a feedback loop of fear that felt completely real.
So no matter what you believe, ghost, demon, or just plain psychology, the story of the Sallie House has absolutely cemented its place in paranormal history. It's gone from just a house to a true cultural landmark.
But what's so wild about this place is how different the experiences can be. I mean, listen to this quote from a journalist who spent the night there. He said it was lovely. For some people, it's just a charming, quiet old house. They experience nothing at all.
And that really sums up the house today. It's become this world-famous hotspot for paranormal tourism. Yeah, you can actually book an overnight stay and see what happens. This constant flow of people, all having these wildly different experiences, from absolute terror to a peaceful night's sleep, is what keeps the mystery alive and the debate raging.
And I guess that's the question the Sallie House leaves all of us with, right? Is this place a genuine doorway to the other side? Or is it more like a mirror, reflecting our own anxieties and deepest fears back at us? Whatever the answer is, its story forces us to question the line between the world we see and the unsettling possibilities of what might be lurking just beyond it.